Thanks.
Yeah, so obviously still kind of not recovering, but getting used to post surgery and doing all right. Been in full training, been in full contention to play matches back at Fulham. Had a few spells coming on here and there. Played 90 minutes in a cup game, which got through pretty well. Still not quite back to feeling 100% on it as I was a year ago, kind of before the injury first happened, but getting there slowly, and it's nice to come out here and the medical team and the coaching staff to have a different set of eyes on it. And yeah, there hasn't really been a specific conversation about how many minutes I'm going to play this trip, if any, but I'm here ready to contribute and taking every day by day. So
Next will be Paul Tenorio from The Athletic.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, guys. Hopefully, can ask one of each of you. First, Anthony, to follow up on that. What was the knee injury? How long did you play on it last season? And can you walk us through the decision for surgery? And then, how is it trying to get fit and try to hold on to your spot? Because I know Tessman has been playing really well as well in his opportunities there. And Tanner, if you could just, what's it like to be back in camp first time since March? And how did maybe the way Nations League went and not being a part of Gold Cup impact your thinking around trying to get back into this team and to fight for a spot for the World Cup? Thank you.
Yeah, so last October in one of the friendlies, I basically got a dead leg on the top of my knee on my quadricep tendon, which slightly split my tendon open, and that bleeding led to calcification and stuff, and I developed a bit of tendinopathy in my knee. So it was pretty painful from probably November onwards for the rest of the duration of the season, and I was managing my load, trying to make sure I could play games and things like that. And then after seeing various specialists and surgeons, the decision was that I probably wasn't going to get over the other side of it unless I had surgery to scrape out the calcification that was in my tendon and kind of clean the area out. So I had that done 2 days after the Man City game, and I was doing rehab for pretty much all the off season while the Gold Cup was going on, and back full training around to 11, 12 weeks later. And it's still tendon injuries. They're known to take a long time to adapt and get back to normal, but I'm getting there, and doing everything I can on and off the pitch to make sure I can stay fit and get back to where I was. And in terms of competition for places and stuff, obviously I've really missed being out here with the team, playing at Fulham. Obviously the gaffer knows that I'm not 100% myself yet, but even if that's the case, he still sees me as a useful tool at some point. But like you said, Cess has been doing really well, so even when I get back to full fitness, it's going to be difficult for me to get my place back in the team. So I'm just going to have to try and raise my level as high as I can and be ready to be called upon when needed.
Yeah, for me, happy to be back in the team. It's always an honor to be here and represent the national team. But yeah, missing out on the Gold Cup and the last game of September, but nothing changes. I think it's always the same mentality to do the best in your club and control what you can control, and when you get selected to do the same with the national team. So yeah, just here to contribute and to help the team leading into the World Cup.
Next will be Jeff Carlisle from ESPN FC.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, guys. My question's for Tanner. Obviously, you've been in great form this season, perhaps the best of your career. What do you think the keys have been to help you get off to such a great start this season?
I think we had a really good preseason. The coach gave a lot of trust to me through our preseason with our matches and everything, and we brought in good players that really want to help the team. And I think our team kind of has no big star. We're kind of all younger kids trying to make our way and find our career. So I think we just have a really hungry team that wants to show what it's like to play at a big club and to play in big competitions, and we want to bring Lyon back to Champions League. So that's the goal. It was a goal last year, it's a goal this year. Nothing changes, but I think the club just given me a little more responsibility this year, and certain players have had to step up because we lost a lot of players in the summer. So we have a lot of young kids stepping up from the academy and younger players that we brought in. So I think overall it's just been a long process of working last year, learning from players, and then working hard in the off season. And now it seems like it just happened overnight, but it was a long year last year and in the off season.
We'll go to Ron Blum from the Associated Press.
For Anthony and also for Tanner, uh, last week Mauricio mentioned that he doesn't talk at all to the players between camps and doesn't give reasons when people are called in or not called in. Do you find that very different from the way Greg operated the team, and do you prefer it this way, or would you prefer more communication?
You want to go first? Or? I mean, yeah, I don't really care, to be honest. I think, obviously, like different people. So from my point of view, like the medical team have kind of been, speaking to me, asking how I am, and like you said, even though I've been fit and training and stuff. Last camp, I didn't hear anything. I didn't get called up, and that was just coach's decision. It is what it is. I think everyone respects the decisions taken, and there doesn't really need to be a conversation. So, in terms of when Greg was coach, there may have been a little bit more conversation, but even still, not that much. And I know other national teams as well. They kind of wait to see the team, and they don't know themselves. So I think it's pretty standard practice, and doesn't really affect me. I can't speak for everyone else, but you just do what you can with your club and wait for the call. And if you don't get it, then you got to try harder for next time.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think it's obviously a very competitive national team. We want to be, the best national team and fight to win the World Cup. And with that comes a lot of competition in the team. So each time you're in camp, you have to make the most of it and try to fight your way into the next one. But yeah, I agree.
Next will be Paul Kennedy from Soccer America.
Thank you, Michael. My question is for Tanner. I got a couple of ones. One, you're originally from Alabama, went to Texas, sort of following the same journey that Chris Richards took. Can you speak a little bit of how his journey influenced you? And secondly, last summer was very traumatic at Lyon with the threat of relegation and a new president coming in, Michelle King, who we know here for her role in women's soccer. Can you speak a little bit about how she's helped the team and have you gotten to know her at all?
Yeah, well, first let's start with Chris. I went to Dallas first, so he followed me. So let's get that straight. Chris signed with the first team before I did, and so yes, I signed after him. But I was in Dallas first, so Chris followed me. So I'm happy for him. He did a good decision there. And yes, in our club we had a big situation this summer. Luckily, the club did a really good job of fighting back and getting us to stay in League One, which, us as the players, obviously we deserve to be in League One. We finished in Europa League spot, and I mean, we're definitely a League One team. So our club did a good job to fight and to keep us in. And yeah, we have a new president, and she's done a really good job. She's worked with the women's team for a long time now, and now she's helping with the men's team. And yeah, it's really nice to have her and in and around and help the team. So yeah, like I said, we've been off to a really good start this year, and hopefully we can continue in that way.
Next will be Charlie Bohm from MLSsoccer.com. Aloha, Charlie.
Hello, Tanner. Building on the questions you've already answered, I wonder if you could reflect a little bit on kind of the journey and the adventures you've had in Europe. It seems like everywhere you've gone, you've kind of met the new standard and risen to a new level. And I just wonder if you could kind of speak on the journey and how you've grown both on and pitch and off.
Yeah, I think my first year in Venice was tough, coming into a European team like that. First time in a promotion relegation league, and understanding the importance and feeling the pressure with the fans, and it's just something you don't experience in MLS. And so I learned a lot that year. I didn't play a ton, but I still made 20, 25 appearances in Serie A. So I learned a lot. And then the next year in second division, we almost got relegated in the first 6 months. We were in last place in December, and we changed coaches and took a crazy run and made the playoffs. And I think that year, that confidence really boosted me into just believing that whatever situation we're in or whatever team I'm in, I can always try to rise to the top and help the team the best I can. So I think it's just like a never quit mentality of going in and knowing that it's never finished, and there's always more games to play, and have that faith and belief in yourself and in the team. So I think that's the main thing.
If you could just...
Oh, sorry, Charlie. I don't remember the second part of the question.
Sorry, I just also want to get a word in about that incredible goal you scored at your first European goal a couple weeks ago, and what that felt like, and what kind of response you've gotten from your teammates and people around you.
Yeah, it was obviously a really pretty goal. Caught it sweet, and most importantly, it gave us the win in a really tough away game in Utrecht. So really happy to start off the Europa League that way with a win. But I think, yeah, it was we have a lot of matches coming up and in the midweek, so that game I didn't start, but I knew that I was probably going to come on and it was going to be a difficult game. So to come on and help the team I think it's the first time I ever subbed in and scored. So to be able to know that I can do that kind of gives me a little more confidence in different games and belief, kind of like I was talking about. So, but yeah, the team has responded well. I think we have, 7 goals from midfielders. So our midfield has really been stepping up this year, contributing and helping the team find ways to win.
Next will be Ryan Talmadge from Goal.com.
Thank you, Michael. This one's for Jedi. You spoke about the injury stuff and the physical aspect of it and the things you kind of go through there. But a lot of guys say that the hardest part of being injured is watching and having to kind of sit back and see the team go on without you and do all these different things. Obviously, in the year or so since we've seen you, so much has happened and so many different players have come in, so many different games and everything like that. So for you, like in this time out, like what was it like watching? Like how did you follow the national team and what was the process like having to kind of watch it from afar?
Really difficult, to be honest. Especially we've had some disappointments this year, and obviously not winning the Nations League and the Gold Cup. They're trophies that we take pretty seriously, and to not be able to bring them home was disappointing. So the fact that you have to watch and you can't contribute, I'd rather be there and be the one taking responsibility on the field, win or lose, than have to watch and not be able to help out. So at the same time, it was like my absence has let other players be able to step in and try and prove themselves, and it's made the field of the squad deeper, which is always nice and a good opportunity for the coaches to run other people out as well and build competition, which I think being a competitive national team is only going to help us going forward. But yeah, mentally it's been having nearly a year away from the national team after not missing many camps and being with the team for so long. It was very difficult.
We have 2 more questions and continue with Jonathan Tannewald from the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Thanks, Michael. Hello, gentlemen. One for each of you, if I may. The first one goes to Jedi. In the last month, Mauricio rolled out sort of a 3-4-2-1, I guess it was. I'm sure you've watched some of the tape and so on. It's a formation that might suit you quite well, I would think, and I was wondering what you thought of it and how you might fit in it. And Tanner, for you, in Lyon, there's quite the American contingent now, and they happen to all be central midfielders in some form or another, with you and Lindsay and Corbin and Lily. And I wonder if you spend any time with them, watch their games, talk shop a little bit, whatever it may be. Thank you.
Yeah, formation-wise, obviously we've all played different positions within the team. The couple camps that I have had with the manager is I've played different positions. I've kind of played that wing-back role. I've been sort of the inverted full-back as well, playing in Jamaica. So I've been able to be utilised in different ways. And I think the fact that we play this formation, but it's pretty dynamic and fluid, as long as anyone fills in a different position, you can kind of end up all over the pitch. So it keeps other teams guessing, it keeps us flexible, and I think it really suits this team.
Yeah, definitely a lot more Americans in Lyon, especially on the women's team. As y'all know, our women's team is one of the best in the world, and I'm really happy to see some Americans there competing at trying to win, the Champions League and win the Women's League in France. So we share a similar facility. We're really close, and the cafeteria is the same. So we often see each other and pass by and catch up. And they've been doing really well. They had 2 really big matches versus PSG, and the other day versus Arsenal that they won in the Champions League. So they're doing really well. And I'm happy for them to be in Lyon.
Last question comes from Andrew Jones.
Thanks, Michael, as always, and belated birthdays to both of you since we last spoke right there. First for you, Tanner, for you, Double C, you had to play against Mark McKenzie on Sunday. Did you all take the same flight back? And hopefully he hasn't tried to give you too much, trash talk towards that game on Sunday, as well as the fact that Jorge Marcial's done a wonderful job whenever Paulo's been unavailable to coach because of the suspension. You talk about those 2 things in terms of Mark McKenzie and also with your assistant coach there.
Yeah, it was a big game on the weekend. Really unfortunate loss for us in the last minute, but congrats to them on the win. We did not take the same flight back. He flew back to Toulouse and then flew differently to camp. So, but happy to be here with him and obviously being with the guys in League One. I think we have 4 players. So, yeah, a lot of Americans in France. And the second part of the question was, what was it?
Assistant
Was
coach.
your assistant?
Oh, assistant coach. Yeah. No, he's done a great job. It's obviously difficult to not have our head coach Paulo on the bench with us. But George has done a great job, and he helps in the trainings all the time, and the message gets through from the stands into George, and he communicates with us as much as he can. And then now we're able to have our coach in the locker room at halftime, which is a big difference to just having our assistant coaches or just the players talking. So it's nice to have his presence back in the locker room. But yeah, the staff has done really well this year to communicate to us and the difficulties with the suspension from our head coach, but it's been going really well.
And real quick with this Jedi, Tyler, you played against Bournemouth a few weeks ago, and obviously with the first child, he's not in there. Did you get a chance to talk to him over the last few days or weeks after playing against them or beating them?
Yeah, no, we caught up straight after the game. To be fair, obviously a very disappointing loss from our end, but nonetheless, happy to see him being fully fit, playing well, and enjoying his football again. And he's, obviously him and his partner are expecting their baby tomorrow, I think. So, I'll be catching up with him soon again to, see how all that went, wishing him the best, and looking forward to seeing him hopefully in next camp after that.